Have you ever wondered what it's like to live as one of the Imperium's countless space marines, the ones whose names you will never hear, whose deeds will never be sung, whose faces are never seen outside the armored helms they inhabit? Imagine being born not into a family, not into a world of choice, but into a destiny carved in iron and blood before you can even speak. The process begins long before the first drop of gene seed enters your body, long before the surgical rituals that will strip away the last traces of your former humanity. You are chosen, though you have no say in the matter, for qualities that even you do not yet understand: resilience, strength, devotion, and the capacity to endure horrors that would shatter a mortal mind. The training is relentless. From the moment you arrive at the fortress monastery, your days are measured not by hours, but by repetitions of drills, rituals, and tests of both body and spirit. You are molded, shaped, perfected. Every muscle, every reflex, every thought is honed to serve a single purpose: obedience and combat efficiency. Sleep is a luxury, almost an afterthought, and pain is a constant companion, a teacher that never relents. Your instructors are not merely human, they are veterans whose eyes have seen 1,000 wars, whose hands can break you in a dozen ways, and yet also lift you beyond what you believed possible. But life here is not only about survival or strength. There are rituals, ancient and holy, that remind you that you serve a cause far greater than yourself. Every morning, you stand in silent meditation, armor polished and weapons ready, listening to the chants of the chapter, feeling the weight of 1,000 generations pressing down on your shoulders. The brothers around you are not friends, not yet, but they are witnesses to your endurance, silent judges of your worth. Some days, you catch a flicker of doubt in another's eyes and realize you are not alone in your fear, your loneliness, your silent questions about the purpose of this unending preparation. Meals are functional, brief, often eaten in near silence. Conversations are rare, limited to tactical corrections, brief grunts of acknowledgement, or murmured prayers. Humor exists, but it is brittle, fleeting, a fragile shield against the oppressive weight of what you are becoming. You learn to find solace in routines, to take comfort in the monotony, because it is in these routines that your body and mind are strengthened for what is to come. Outside these walls, the galaxy is a chaotic, merciless place, teeming with enemies who will not hesitate to rip apart any weakness. Inside, you learn that weakness is not allowed, that any hesitation can cost not only your life, but the lives of your brothers, and ultimately, the survival of countless worlds you will never see. Yet, despite the armor, the rituals, the drills, there remains a spark of the person you once were, a faint whisper of doubt, fear, or even curiosity. You may never speak it aloud, for there is no room for such luxuries in the life of the average space marine, but it lingers. And in the silence of your quarters, when you sit alone, meditating on the emptiness around you, you sometimes ask yourself, will I ever know peace? Will I ever live, or am I destined only to endure, to fight, to obey? These questions have no answers here. They are swallowed by the clang of armor, the hum of the engines, the endless echo of marching footsteps down corridors that seem to stretch into eternity. Every day, you rise, train, meditate, and prepare. Every day, you learn a little more about pain, discipline, and the terrifying scale of the war you are born to fight. You learn to obey, to endure, to become something beyond human. And in the quiet moments, you wonder if you will ever return to the person you were before this life claimed you. But such thoughts are dangerous, fleeting, and carefully buried beneath layers of indoctrination and the iron will that the chapter instills in you from the very beginning. For the average space marine, there is no childhood, no carefree laughter, no ordinary life. There is only the path of duty, the ritual of perfection, and the relentless march toward a future where the only certainty is war. The quiet monotony of the fortress monastery is shattered one morning by the summons that every space marine knows, yet no one ever truly welcomes: a call to war. It comes not as a fanfare, not as a celebration, but as a silent, unavoidable decree, delivered with the cold efficiency of the Imperium's machinery. Orders are transmitted, coordinates given, and you are reminded, once again, that your life belongs not to yourself, but to the Emperor, to the chapter, and to the countless worlds that hang by a thread in the galaxy's ceaseless darkness. There is no time for hesitation, no space for doubt. The moment a mission is declared, every thought, every heartbeat, is consumed by preparation. You gather with your squad mates in the dim corridors, the metallic clang of armor echoing against stone walls. Faces hidden behind helms, expressions unreadable, yet within each, a flicker of anticipation and dread burns quietly. The younger recruits, fresh from their indoctrination, look to the veterans for reassurance, though the veterans carry the same tension beneath their practiced calm. You know, as do they, that this mission will test not just your skill, but your very spirit. Somewhere in the void beyond the monastery walls, enemies wait, monsters beyond comprehension, heretics, xenos, beings warped by chaos, and none will grant mercy. The preparation begins in silent, meticulous detail. Armor is inspected, weapons calibrated, and rituals repeated with near-religious devotion. Even the smallest error is unacceptable. Every bolt tightened, every servo checked, every blessing recited as a thread in the fragile tapestry of survival. And as you move through the motions, your mind races with unspoken questions: will we return? Will we survive? Will the chapter remember us, or will we become just another set of names lost to history? The answers are irrelevant. You do not seek them, for seeking is a luxury the average space marine cannot afford. As the hours stretch and the preparations near completion, a silent bond forms among your squad. It is not friendship, not yet, it is recognition of shared fate, an understanding that in the coming storm, your lives are entwined with those around you. You know that when the first shots are fired, when the screams of the dying echo across alien worlds, you will rely not on luck, but on discipline, training, and the unspoken trust that your brothers will act as extensions of yourself. Yet beneath this trust simmers an awareness that the battlefield is indifferent, that death is impartial, and that not every one of you will return to the fortress monastery. Then comes the final moment before departure, when the reality of the mission settles like a weight on your chest. You stand in the armory, helmet in hand, the weight of the mission pressing upon your shoulders. The galaxy beyond the walls is vast, incomprehensible, and merciless. You are a single soldier among millions, a single engine of war in the Imperium's unyielding machine. And as you step toward the transport, your heart pounds not with excitement, but with a sober awareness of the danger to come. Somewhere out there, in the darkness of the stars, the enemy waits, patient and remorseless, ready to challenge everything you have been trained to endure. And in that moment, as the transport hums to life and the cold void stretches out before you, a question lingers in the back of your mind, whispered silently beneath the roar of engines and the rhythm of armored footsteps: will I be enough? It is a question you dare not voice, yet one that will follow you through fire and blood, through worlds aflame and brothers lost, a shadow that stretches ahead into the very heart of war. The first taste of war arrives not with glory, but with the overwhelming roar of destruction. The ground trembles beneath your boots as the transport disgorges your squad onto a scarred world, a battlefield littered with the remnants of civilizations you will never know. The sky is a canvas of fire and smoke, the air thick with ash, ozone, and the metallic tang of blood. In these moments, you understand that the romantic notions of battle, whispered in training or imagined in idle dreams, are lies. War is chaos, a ceaseless storm of violence that spares neither body nor mind. You move as a unit, disciplined and silent, each action precise and deliberate. The enemy is not uniform, not predictable. Xenos warriors, mutants, heretics, and demon spawns spring from the smoke and rubble, each encounter a test of reflex, strategy, and endurance. Bullets tear through the air, plasma scorches the ground, and the cries of the dying echo across the battlefield. Yet you push forward, not out of courage, but out of the ingrained instinct of duty. You are trained to endure, to survive, and to execute orders, even when the world around you descends into absolute horror. Amidst the chaos, the bonds of the squad are forged in ways that words cannot capture. You see your brothers fall, one after another, and each loss etches itself into your mind. There is no time for grief, no space for hesitation, only the endless drive to accomplish the mission, to protect what remains of your squad, to push forward through the unending tide of enemy forces. Each moment demands complete focus, every misstep can be fatal. You learn to suppress fear, to turn adrenaline into precision, and to embrace the strange clarity that comes only in the heart of violence. Yet even as you fight, small cracks appear in the armor of your psyche. The sheer scale of death, the alien cruelty of your foes, the endless attrition, begin to weigh on your mind. You catch glimpses of devastation that no training could have prepared you for: villages erased in a heartbeat, civilians consumed by war, horrors that defy comprehension. Questions form in fleeting thoughts: why am I here? Does my sacrifice matter? Will the Emperor remember those who die unseen, unsung? These thoughts are dangerous, they threaten focus, yet they refuse to be silenced entirely. The battlefield is a crucible where the average space marine is tested in every conceivable way, physically, mentally, and spiritually. There are no accolades for those who endure, no recognition for quiet efficiency. You fight not to be remembered, but because there is no alternative. Every action, every kill, every step taken through scorched earth and alien blood is a testament to survival, not heroism. And as the battle drags on, as comrades fall and enemies press relentlessly forward, a creeping realization takes hold. War is eternal, and you are but one instrument in the Imperium's unyielding machine, destined to fight, to obey, and perhaps, to perish. Amid the carnage, small moments of humanity surface, a glance exchanged with a surviving brother, a whispered prayer for the fallen, a memory of life before the armor. These moments are fleeting, fragile, yet they tether you to what you once were. They remind you that beneath the ceramite and gene seed, you are still human, even if the galaxy has already claimed much of your soul. And in the pauses between the gunfire, the explosions, the endless march, you silently vow to endure, to survive, to continue the fight no matter the cost. For the average space marine, there is no glory, only duty, only war, and the quiet hope that perhaps, by some twist of fate, you will see another day. War leaves scars that no armor can shield. For the average space marine, the battlefield is not only a place of blood and fire, but a crucible for the mind. Each mission, each encounter with alien monstrosities or heretical forces, chips away at the veneer of certainty and obedience instilled since induction. In the quiet moments, when the echoes of gunfire fade and the bodies of fallen brothers lie heavy on the conscience, the mind begins to whisper questions long suppressed. Am I still human? Does this endless war define me, or have I been consumed by it? These thoughts are dangerous, forbidden even, yet they persist, gnawing at the edges of reason. Sleep offers no refuge. Nightmares arrive unbidden, replaying battles in grotesque, distorted sequences. You see the faces of the dead, sometimes friends, sometimes enemies, twisted by the warp into something unrecognizable. The screams of the dying echo endlessly in your mind, and even in the waking hours, flashes of hallucination appear, shadows that move when none should, whispers that linger in silent corridors, fleeting glimpses of shapes that defy comprehension. You tell yourself it is fatigue, the residual effect of endless combat, yet deep inside, a part of you knows that the universe itself is watching, indifferent and malignant. Loneliness grows even in the company of brothers. Conversations are shallow, limited to mission objectives or tactical corrections. Rarely does one dare speak of fear, doubt, or grief, for such admissions are a vulnerability. And yet, despite the camaraderie forged in battle, the average space marine experiences isolation that even the closest bonds cannot erase. You are surrounded by others like you, yet each carries their own private horrors, each wears their own invisible chains, and the weight of all these unspoken fears presses on you in silence. Doubt festers quietly. The indoctrination of the chapter, the litany of duty and loyalty, collides with the raw, unfiltered horror of reality. You begin to question the Imperium's motives, the necessity of endless war, the value of obedience when it demands the sacrifice of countless lives for reasons that remain opaque and distant. Yet questioning is dangerous, obedience is ingrained, drilled into your very cells, and defiance can be fatal. So you carry the questions silently, letting them simmer beneath the surface, knowing that the day may come when they will no longer be contained. Amid these trials, the universe reminds you of its enormity and cruelty. Warp storms, demon incursions, and the sheer unpredictability of battle serve as constant reminders that your life, your mind, and even your carefully cultivated skills are fragile, fleeting, and insignificant in the grand design of the Imperium. And yet, despite the mental strain, despite the crushing solitude and ceaseless horror, you endure. You endure because survival is your only recourse, because duty is embedded in every fiber of your being, because the whispers in your mind, though relentless, are drowned by the resolve to fight another day. Even in despair, there is purpose. The psychological toll is immense, but it sharpens the edge of discipline. Every scar, every sleepless night, every moment of fear, molds you into something more than human yet less than free. You are a soldier of the Imperium, bound not by choice but by inevitability, and in that duality lies the essence of the average space marine, a being forged in war, haunted by memories, yet unyielding in duty, carrying the weight of a galaxy that will never know your name. The call comes with no warning this time, no time for reflection, no measured preparation. The battlefield unfolds before you like a nightmare made real, a world scarred and burning under alien skies. The enemy is unlike anything you have faced before, grotesque, cunning, relentless, a swarm of horrors that seems endless. The ground trembles beneath you, the air vibrates with the cacophony of gunfire, explosions, and the cries of both the living and the dying. In this instant, all the training, all the rituals, all the indoctrination converge into a singular, terrifying clarity: survival is not guaranteed. Obedience is not enough. Only action, only instinct, only the unyielding force of will can carry you through this storm. Your squad moves as one, every step coordinated, every shot deliberate, yet even the most disciplined formation is tested beyond limits. Brothers fall around you, some crushed under alien beasts, others cut down in the flash of a plasma blast. The screams of the fallen pierce the chaos, yet you do not stop, you cannot stop. Every decision is a life or death calculus, every movement a chance to survive or to perish. The galaxy has no mercy here, and the enemy has none either. You feel the weight of countless generations of space marines pressing down on you, urging you forward, yet even that ancient strength cannot erase the fear crawling beneath your armor. The battle twists, grows more chaotic, and then strikes at the heart of your squad. A sudden betrayal, an unforeseen flank, or perhaps the sheer cunning of the enemy, it does not matter, and suddenly your carefully maintained order collapses into chaos. Brothers you thought invincible fall, and the realization hits like a hammer: death is no longer distant. It is here, immediate, unavoidable, and indifferent. You fight not for glory, not for honor, but because to stop is to surrender to annihilation. Every moment is a razor's edge, every breath a borrowed fragment of life, and yet you push forward, driven by something deeper than survival: duty, loyalty, and the unshakable instinct to endure. Amid the maelstrom, you glimpse the horror that has eluded you until now. The enemy is not merely a force of flesh and claw, but a reflection of the universe's indifference. Entire landscapes are obliterated in moments, allies vanish in firestorms, and the lines between friend and foe blur beneath the sheer magnitude of death. You act on instinct, firing, striking, and moving, feeling the rhythm of battle take hold, a brutal cadence that numbs fear and sharpens purpose. And yet, even in this mechanical precision, there is humanity, fleeting, fragile, and defiant, in the silent prayers whispered for the fallen, in the brief glance exchanged with a surviving brother, in the stubborn refusal to give in to despair. The climax reaches its apex when you confront the heart of the threat: a monstrous entity, a warp-twisted abomination, towering an alien, a living storm of destruction and malice. The encounter is a test of everything you have become, everything the chapter has forged in you. Your muscles scream, your armor burns, your mind strains under the pressure, yet you do not falter. Each strike lands with precision, each move calculated, each decision a knife edge between victory and oblivion. The battle rages, relentless and merciless, until at last, through sacrifice, endurance, and sheer will, the threat is neutralized, but the cost is staggering. As the smoke clears, the battlefield silent except for the groans of the wounded and the distant echoes of dying fire, you stand among the remnants of your squad. Few remain. The world is scarred, as are you, physically and spiritually. The cost of survival is etched into your very being: brothers lost, innocence shattered, questions unanswered, and yet a spark remains. The galaxy has not ended you, and you have endured, a solitary figure in the ruins of war, a witness to the unimaginable horrors that define the life of an average space marine. The battle is over, yet the echoes of its fury linger long after the weapons have fallen silent. The world is a scarred testament to fire, blood, and the unrelenting cruelty of the universe. You move among the wreckage, counting the cost: bodies of fallen brothers, twisted remnants of enemies, and the silent witnesses of civilizations erased in the blink of an eye. Survival is a hollow victory, tempered by grief, guilt, and the unspoken knowledge that the galaxy has not noticed, will not notice, and could not care less. You are a soldier in the vast, unfeeling machine of the Imperium, your sacrifices invisible against the scale of endless war. In the quiet moments between orders, when the adrenaline fades and the armor feels heavier than ever, you reflect on what it means to endure. Duty, once a guiding light, now feels like chains. Loyalty is both shield and burden. Obedience is instinct, drilled so deep that questioning it is almost impossible, yet impossible not to consider. The faces of the fallen haunt your thoughts, some comrades, some nameless soldiers, all reminders that survival comes at a price far beyond the physical. You realize that heroism is not measured by accolades or recognition, but by the willingness to continue, to endure, to bear the weight of a galaxy that neither acknowledges nor forgives. Even as the chapter bureaucracy moves silently around you, dispatching orders for the next battle, planning the next conquest, your mind lingers on the quiet truths. Life as an average space marine is a cycle of relentless preparation, unyielding combat, and unending reflection. You are a cog in a machine that cannot pause, cannot mourn, cannot wait. And yet, within this cycle, there is a strange, fierce pride, not in glory, not in fame, but in resilience. You have endured, you have fought, you have survived where many have not. And still, the questions remain, whispered in the dark corners of your mind: will this endless war ever end? Will the sacrifices of the nameless ever mean anything? Am I more than the armor I wear, the weapons I wield, the missions I survive? There are no answers, only the cold certainty that the galaxy will continue to demand more, that the Imperium will continue to march, and that you, like countless others before and after, must continue to endure. In the end, being an average space marine is not about glory or legend. It is about survival in the face of the unimaginable, about obedience when every instinct cries out against it, about holding on to fragments of humanity while being forged into something other, something more than human yet less than free. You are a soldier, a survivor, a witness. You are nameless, faceless, yet you are enduring, and in that endurance lies the quiet, tragic heroism of the countless space marines whose stories will never be told. And as you raise your head toward the stars, knowing another battle waits somewhere beyond the void, you cannot help but feel the truth that has always defined you: life in the Imperium is not about living. It is about enduring. Even after the battlefields have quieted, even after the ashes of countless worlds settle into dust, the life of an average space marine does not truly end. There is no peace, no reprieve, only the silent echo of all that has been lost. The fallen are remembered in ritual and prayer, but the galaxy itself does not pause, does not mourn, does not care. You walk among the ruins of war, armored and scarred, carrying memories too heavy to share and truths too vast to comprehend. In the void between campaigns, you feel the emptiness of a life devoted entirely to obedience and survival. Yet, within that emptiness, there is a strange clarity, the imperceptible thrill of enduring, of continuing despite the unrelenting cruelty of the universe. Every heartbeat, every breath, every labored step through the cold corridors of the fortress monastery is a testament to resilience. You are part of a lineage older than you can grasp, yet each day you live is singular, fleeting, and utterly your own, even if the galaxy will never know it. And so you endure, silently, in the shadow of wars that will never end, carrying the weight of nameless battles and the lives of brothers lost. You are faceless, unheard, unknown, yet you exist. You persist, you fight, and in that quiet, grim persistence lies the truth of life as an average space marine. It is not about glory, nor legend, nor recognition. It is about surviving where most perish, enduring where most break, and holding on to the fragile spark of humanity in a galaxy that demands nothing but obedience. The stars above are indifferent, the void stretches endlessly, and the next battle waits. And still, you ask yourself, quietly, in the silence that follows the chaos, will I ever truly live, or am I destined only to endure? The question has no answer, yet you carry it forward, as you always have, armored, resolute, and unbroken. The battlefields have faded, the smoke has cleared, and the screams of war are now a distant memory, but for the average space marine, the war never truly ends. The galaxy is vast, indifferent, and relentless, and you are a single, silent cog in its endless machine. The brothers who survived with you are few, the memories of the fallen sharp and unyielding, etched into your mind like scars that will never heal. Every breath, every heartbeat, carries the weight of duty, the cost of obedience, and the reality of life forged entirely in war. You walk through the corridors of the fortress monastery once more, armored, scarred, and silently counting the cost of survival. There is no glory here, no song will be sung of your deeds, no history will remember the countless battles you endured. Yet in this quiet anonymity, there is a strange, grim pride, the knowledge that you have survived where most perish, endured where most break, and carried on when the galaxy demanded everything and offered nothing in return. The stars stretch endlessly above, cold and indifferent, the void of space awaiting the next battle, the next call to arms. And still, you rise. You endure. You march forward into the unending cycle of preparation, combat, loss, and reflection. For the life of an average space marine is not about living. It is about enduring. It is about carrying the weight of the Imperium silently, without recognition, without pause, without end. And in that relentless endurance, in that quiet, uncelebrated resilience, lies the true story of the nameless, faceless warriors who keep the Imperium alive, one battle, one loss, one breath at a time. The void waits, and you will be ready. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.